They found this in Africa, and scientists can't explain it. In the mountains of Mpumalanga, South Africa, lies a structure that defies easy explanation. A circular arrangement of massive dolomite stones, standing silently against the elements for what some researchers believe are tens of thousands of years. It's been called Adam's Calendar, or the African Stonehenge, and it's at the heart of one of archaeology's most profound and contentious mysteries. What you're looking at could be the oldest man-made structure on Earth, a discovery that has the potential to rewrite human history as we know it. But mainstream science remains deeply divided. It's questioning its age, its purpose, and even whether it's a man-made creation at all. Today we're delving into the evidence, the controversy, the astonishing theories surrounding Africa's mysterious stone circles. First, the discovery. While local farmers have known about these stone ruins for generations, they were largely dismissed as simple cattle kraals, or enclosures, built by Bantu-speaking people within the last millennium. It wasn't until 2003 that a local pilot and firefighter, Johan Heine, noticed the peculiar arrangement from the air. He realized that several of the monoliths align perfectly with the cardinal points north, south, east, and west stand, with the solstices and equinoxes. This wasn't a random collection of rocks. This suggested purpose. His findings caught the attention of researcher and author Michael Tellinger, who brought the site to global prominence in 2009. Tellinger gave it the name Adam's Calendar, positing it as a direct link to the earliest chapters of human existence. So what is Adam's Calendar? At its core, it's a circular stone arrangement roughly 30 meters, or about 100 feet in diameter. The stones are tall, weathered dolomite monoliths, some weighing several tons. They aren't just placed randomly. They are embedded in the earth in a very specific pattern. The most striking feature, as identified by Heine, is its function as an ancient calendar. At the center of the circle are two upright stones. When you look through them towards the horizon, you see the sunrise on the spring and autumn equinoxes align perfectly with another flat-top stone on the perimeter. Other stones mark the summer and winter solstices. This isn't a coincidence. This is precision engineering. It suggests the builders had a sophisticated understanding of solar movements. Using the structure to track the passing of seasons and the length of the year, the astronomical alignments don't stop with the sun. Proponents of the ancient origins theory, like Tellinger, argue that the site also mirrors the cosmos. The layout of three prominent stones is claimed to align with the three bright stars in Orion's belt, Talnotak, Alnolam, and Mintaka. This is a pattern seen in other ancient sites around the world, most famously the Giza pyramids in Egypt. This Orion correlation theory suggests a shared ancient knowledge system spanning different continents and cultures. If true, it implies these early builders weren't just farmers tracking seasons. They were skywatchers, astronomers with a deep connection to the stars, embedding their celestial knowledge directly into the landscape. Now we get to the dating controversy, and this is where the story gets really explosive. How old is Adam's Calendar? The mainstream archaeological view suggests a relatively recent origin. The conventional theory is that the stone circles were built by the ancestors of the Sotho or Tswana peoples, likely between the 13th and 18th centuries AD, to be used as cattle enclosures. This would make them a few hundred years old, interesting but not revolutionary. But a growing number of independent researchers argue for a much older timeline. They base their estimates on several lines of evidence. One method is geological. The stones themselves are dolomite, a hard erosion-resistant rock, but they still show significant weathering. Some geologists have examined the erosion patterns on the stones, specifically the patina or rock varnish that forms over time. Based on the rate of this patina growth and the depth of the erosion, some researchers have proposed staggering dates, estimating the structure to be at least 75,000 years old. Some estimates push that number even further, to 160,000 or even 200,000 years old. To put that into perspective, the Great Pyramid of Giza is about 4,500 years old. Stonehenge is around 5,000 years old. The earliest known civilization, the Sumerians in Mesopotamia, emerged around 6,000 years ago. If Adam's Calendar is 75,000 years old, it predates all of them by more than 70,000 years. It would mean that a sophisticated, astronomically aware culture existed in southern Africa during the last ice age. long before humans were thought to be capable of such complex construction. This single discovery would force us to completely rethink the timeline of human civilization. However, mainstream archaeologists are extremely skeptical of these claims. The primary issue is the difficulty of dating stone. Unlike organic materials like wood, bone, or charcoal, which can be dated using radiocarbon dating, there's no universally accepted, reliable method for dating the placement of a rock. Geological dating methods can tell you how old the rock itself is, in this case. Billions of years, but not when it was moved and placed in its current position. The erosion-based estimates are considered highly speculative and unreliable by many scientists, as weathering rates can vary dramatically based on local climate and environmental changes over millennia. Without associated organic material found in a sealed archaeological context, like a tool or a fire pit buried beneath a fallen stone, it's nearly impossible to assign a definitive date. As a result, the academic community largely dismisses the 75,000-year-old figure as unsubstantiated, but the mystery deepens. Adam's calendar is not an isolated phenomenon. It is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. It's part of a massive, sprawling network of stone circles that covers thousands of square kilometers across South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Botswana. Estimates of the total number of these ruins range from 100,000 to over 200,000. While many are simple circular structures that could plausibly be cattle kraals, many others are far more complex. They feature intricate walls, channels, and pathways connecting them, forming what appears to be a vast, interconnected grid of ancient cities or ceremonial sites. Michael Tellinger has documented many of these from the air, revealing complex patterns invisible from the ground. Many of these connected sites also show distinct astronomical alignments, just like Adam's calendar. The sheer scale of this network is mind-boggling. It suggests a huge, organized population living in this region for a very long time. Fortunately, the vast majority of these sites have been damaged or completely destroyed. For centuries, farmers have cleared the stones to make way for agriculture, unaware of their potential historical significance. Roads have been built through them. It's an archaeological tragedy on a massive scale. Tens of thousands of these structures may have been lost forever, along with the secrets they held. The mainstream view remains that these are all relatively recent constructions, remnants of the Bakoni civilization, Bantu-speaking culture known for its intensive agriculture and terracing in the region from about 1500 to 1820 AD. But again, this doesn't fully explain the complex astronomical alignments or the sheer number of sites spread over such a vast area. Then there's the sound theory. This is another layer of the mystery, championed by researchers like Tellinger. They claim that the dolomite stones used in the circles have unique acoustic properties. When struck, they ring like a bell, producing specific, resonant frequencies. This has led to the theory that the circles weren't just calendars. They were energy-generating devices or sound resonators. Proponents suggest that the specific shapes of the circles and the properties of the stone were designed to concentrate and amplify sound and natural frequencies emanating from the earth. They believe this energy could have been used for healing, spiritual rituals, or even more advanced purposes we don't yet understand. Mainstream science, as you might expect, is extremely skeptical of this hypothesis. It's a fascinating idea, but it's one that lacks hard, measurable evidence and steps into the realm of what many would call pseudoscience. More rigorous peer-reviewed study would be needed to even begin to validate such a claim. So, where does this leave us? We have a fascinating collection of facts, theories, and unanswered questions. On one hand, we have the mainstream archaeological consensus. These are cattle enclosures and settlements built by Bantu-speaking peoples within the last 1,500 years. It's a plausible explanation that fits within the established timeline of human migration and settlement in southern Africa. On the other hand, we have a series of anomalies that this explanation struggles to account for. The precise astronomical alignments found at Adam's calendar and other sites seem too sophisticated for simple cattle enclosures. The sheer scale of the network, hundreds of thousands of ruins, suggests a larger and more alone-organized society than previously thought. And then there is the explosive, though highly controversial, dating evidence that points to an antiquity that would rewrite history. Hundreds of thousands of stone circles in South Africa, some showing astronomical alignments, some possibly tens of thousands of years old. Scientists can't agree on what they are, who built them, or when. This is one of archaeology's great mysteries, and it's sitting in Africa, largely ignored by mainstream science. The debate: extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. Site needs rigorous peer-reviewed study with modern dating techniques, such as optically stimulated luminescence, which can determine when sediment was last exposed to light. Until then, the mystery remains. These are real stone circles. They have real astronomical alignments. But their age is disputed, and their ultimate purpose remains unknown. Adam's calendar, mystery remains. Hit subscribe for more unexplained discoveries. Post new videos 3 times a week.